You're listening to
Catholic Sprouts,
the daily podcast for Catholic kids that strives to plant seeds of faith. Hey there, Sprouts. Today is Friday, September 20th, 2019. It is also the feast day of Korean martyrs, St. Andrew Kim Tae-gon and his other companions. This week on the Catholic Sprouts podcast, we have been talking about friendship. Not only how to find good friends, but how to be a good friend. We have talked about the first aspect of a good friendship, which is a shared faith in Jesus Christ. Next, complete trust. Then a willingness to forgive. And finally, a generous heart. Today, we're going to talk about the final aspect of a good and strong friendship, and that is courage. Now, this might seem like a strange thing to talk about with friendship, but it is actually incredibly important. And to understand a little bit better, let's talk about our saints that we are celebrating today. So St. Andrew Kim Tae-gon and Paul Chong, they were both Korean martyrs. Now, when they were martyred, which was not that long ago, the Christian faith was coming to Korea, and it was being practiced quite zealously, especially by those that were martyred today. But it was not welcome. It was seen as a Western influence, and those that would not renounce their faith were martyred. What's interesting about today's feast day is that we have several men that were martyred together. They were united in friendship. They were united, first of all, in their faith in Jesus Christ. They had complete trust that they wouldn't abandon each other. And they were generously giving their lives out of love for Jesus Christ. So this is an extreme example of people bonded together in friendship and demonstrating together extreme courage. Now, that's one way that courage can manifest itself in friendship. There is a much simpler way, and a way that we all will have to deal with. We need to be brave in our friendships so that we can correct our friends. Now, this might be one of the trickiest things that we will ever be asked to do. But we've already talked about how there will be a necessity to forgive our friends. They're human beings. They're going to make bad choices. They're going to sin against us even though we are friends, and we are going to be called to forgive them. We are also going to be called to ask for their forgiveness because of bad things that we choose to do. But there is also the great possibility that we will be called to help our friend move toward holiness. And sometimes this will require us to be very brave. Sometimes we can be so lost in sin that we aren't even aware of it. Or we can be telling ourselves lies about the fact that what we are doing really isn't that bad. It really isn't that big of a deal, when in fact it is. This is why we need friends so badly, especially friends that share a faith in Jesus Christ, because they can point out our flaws, our sins, sometimes when we don't even see them ourselves. And a good friend can do this in a loving way, in a way that will bring us back to Jesus and strengthen our friendship in the process. But doing this, pointing out the sins of another person, it's scary and it's hard and it takes courage. It takes courage and love. Oftentimes we have no problem confronting people that we don't like. In fact, we might sort of enjoy pointing out the things wrong with them. But we dislike very much pointing out the things that are wrong with our friends. We worry that it will destroy our friendships. But let me tell you, my friends, if you have a friendship based on a love for Jesus Christ, if there is complete trust, if you have forgiven each other in the past and you are generous with each other, then getting through these points where you have to help each other make corrections or even point out sins in each other, it will only lead to a stronger friendship. It might get hard for a little while, but it will get stronger. In fact, if you are called to marriage in your future life, married couples, that is the biggest friendship in their life. A marriage should be based on all these things that we have talked about this week. A marriage should be the strongest friendship. And we do need to be brave in all of our friendships, including our marriage, so that we might lead each other closer to Jesus. And so, Sprouts, I have one last challenge for you this week. I want you to think about who is your dearest friend. Maybe it's a sibling, maybe it's a classmate or a cousin, and I want you to thank them for their friendship. You can do this in a big way or a little way. You can simply say, hey, thanks for being my friend. You can write them a note. You can give them a call, whatever you want, but take time to thank them for being your friend because it is a big, beautiful deal that you have a great friend. Thank them and thank God for them as well.
That's it for Catholic Sprouts today. We'll be back tomorrow, but until then, continue to grow in your faith and truly sprout into the beautiful creation that God intended you to be.
Just one more thing, Sprouts. You are invited to come check out the brand new Rosary board book sets from Catholic Sprouts. This is an exciting project that we have been working on for the last 8 months, and they're finally available. To check them out and all of the beautiful illustrations, simply head to CatholicSprouts.com/Rosary board book, or just click the link in the show notes.